This is Yu-Gi-Oh! Dark Lee with 2 decks I really enjoyed. I was almost finished with these decks. Like the Dragon Rulers deck nearly completed the way I wanted it, and then the entire deck just got scrapped. All the big dragons now can only be used 1 time, and the baby dragons can only be used 0 times. So basically the entire deck has been scrapped. I really was looking forward before they came out, because it was a deck that, well, it could support its own. You needed no cards for the deck that would say, like with the TG Librarians. It was a TG card, but nobody was playing a TG deck. They were playing a planned build-up with a couple of synchrons, a couple of spell and traps to get them easier. And they were all the same. Now, this deck was just Dragon Rulers and Dragon Rulers, and then a couple of support cards that were good for Dragon Rulers. Gold Sarcophagus and Super Rejuvenation. Of course, you had the Red Eyes monsters, and you had this card that came out almost directly after it. Now, you could use Dragon Mirror to bring out a 5-card dragon, but you could also use this to banish one of your Elder Dragons, one of your Dragon Rulers, and you banish one of the opponent's monster. Then he could have made a choice. If he would destroy this card, they would come back to the field, but most of the time that would be with a Mystical Space Typhoon during their turn. And since I reckon would have been returned by this card, it would no longer return to the hand. At least I think that's how it works. Furthermore, since you banished your monster, you could use its effect for it was banished. And then there was this deck. Spellbooks. Was really interesting. They finally had created a good spellcaster deck. Now, I've not sorted these cards, so don't put a comment on that. I know. I really enjoyed playing with this deck. It had a lot of spell cards. Well, it had more spell cards than it had monsters in the beginning when I was building it. But the same goes with this deck and the Dragon Rulers. This deck can now be pretty good, but it is not as good as it used to be, since the 2 most powerful cards for this deck have either been limited or have been banned. Spellbook of Judgment, banned. One of the most insane cards I have ever seen. And then of course there was Spellbook of Fate. And the bad thing about that, when I finally got 3 of these, they were limited to 1. So I really didn't like that about these 2 decks. That when I just completed it, or almost had it completed, the plug got just torn out and the entire deck went down the drain. Dit was Yugi Duck Lee with my spellbook and dragon ruler deck.